Welcome to the Free and Fully Expressed podcast, the space where we don't do surface level inspiration. We do soul deep reclaiming. I'm Jackie B, your shamanic soul guide, mama of three, and your reminder that you are never meant to just survive. You are always meant to be free, fully expressed, and fiercely alive. Each week, I drop raw truths, sacred mirror moments, and rebellious reminders to help you rise into the woman you came here to be. So grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's dive in. Today's episode is Life Was Meant to Enjoy, Not Just Survive, with Amanda Chils. This is about recalibrating your system and creating your own happiness. Because joy is not something you earn at a finish line. It's something you calibrate to right now. And Amanda and I are here to show you exactly how. Welcome and thank you for being here. I'd love to
Yeah.
first start off by you sharing a little bit of your story, whatever comes to mind. Like,
Yeah.
who are you and why do you do what you do?
And then explain that in 30 seconds.
Yeah, no quiz.
So yeah, just real quick. So my name's Amanda. I live in North Carolina. I'm a licensed trauma therapist, and I also do coaching. So something I realized in doing a bunch of trauma work with folks is that the skills are really applicable to people who don't necessarily either have or resonate with like child abuse or an addicted parent or molestation, things like that. All of us have things that we pick up. Well, let me rephrase that get put on us or implanted simply by living life, the culture that we live in, like um, the families we're raised in, the friends we have, the media we consume, that is just not helpful. So I come at growth. Um, I like to say like uncovering someone's light. So I think about it like humans are light, right? You'll be like, yeah,
I
makes
like
sense.
me.
Humans, I think of humans as light. Like we happen to inhabit a body, but like if I cut off my arm, it's not like, oh, 75% of Amanda is here. Like, no, I'm still here.
Absolutely.
And then life just throws blankets on it, and trauma throws blankets on it, and fear and conditioning and just the things that get put on people. So I think of my work as like uncovering blankets through like nervous
Shedding.
system. Yeah, like just throwing them off. And then, people living in from an alignment with their light through like shadow work, nervous system, subconscious reprogramming, mindset, all the things.
I love it.
Yeah. So
We
that's what I
feel
do.
like I love it. Like we have a little different approaches, but a lot of
Mhm.
similarities. That's what I always say, like the masks, the unmasking. But a mask isn't bad per
No,
se.
it can be very useful.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like we don't just burn them and like it's never gonna be there. You learn how
Yeah.
to literally like a masquerade ball. Like you're not like
Mhm.
you it accentuates you and you can switch, but it's never like enmeshed. Like you
It
can't
doesn't
take
like
it
get
off.
stuck.
Like you
Yeah.
get your beauty, your essence gets to shine
Yeah.
through that beautiful light of the divine
Yes.
being we are. It's just
Mhm.
expressing different layers and the different roles and the masks
Mhm.
that we carry.
And really, like, I have a lot of clients who come, and especially if they spend any time on the mental health side of TikTok. But I love TikTok for many reasons and I hate it for many reasons. But they'll be like, I want to unmask, I want to unmask. And I'm like, listen, sometimes masking is useful.
Yeah.
Like some people can't handle full volume Amanda, and that's fine. Like not everybody has the capacity. Or sometimes clients will come and I have a very like, I don't care what people think,
Yeah.
whatever. It's
Real.
not important to me. I speak my truth. I'm not afraid to hurt people's feelings. Well, I'm not afraid to be honest, and if that hurts people's feelings, that's on me, whatever. Like I'm not afraid to speak up. I'm not afraid to do those things, right? Um, and sometimes I have clients who are like, well, but you always speak up and you always say things. And I'm like, no, it's not always useful. So I like to say, masks are useful. If I were at a bar, so I'm 5 foot, like flat, I weigh like 170 pounds. 165. I weighed myself yesterday. But I'm not stronger than like a 6'5" man. I'm not stronger than a 6 foot man, and I'm pretty strong. But like I'm not stronger than a full grown man, right? So let's say I'm in a bar and like I have bad bitch energy, like I just do. But this guy is like he won't leave me alone, and it's like clear that like he wants to talk to me. I'm not gonna be like fuck you, guy, when you're gonna get out of my face, you fucking creep, because I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Yeah, you
So
can work
it
on
would make sense to mask and to be nice, which I hate. To be nice and be, oh no, my husband's waiting for me at home, and oh, I left the oven on, and is that my dad calling? Like it benefits me in those moments to protect. but that's not how we want to live 100% of our lives because it's not necessary. So like the masquerade ball, you put on the mask, you take it off, you like, there are times where it's useful, but we don't want to live there all the time because it's soul sucking.
Well, and it's because you're not,
Awful.
it's just a part of you, not all of you. And that's what I always say. Like, people are like, cut out the ego, do all of these things. Like, all of this is you. Like, it's like
Maybe
saying,
befriend it.
cut off your arm because you did something. You know what I mean? Like, you messed up on a
Right.
painting. Like, no, like,
Right.
I always say that the ego gets a bad rap a lot of the times. The ego is
Mhm.
not bad. You just have to understand its function.
It serves a purpose.
Yeah, and
Right.
then put it in the right role. So many people are
Right.
trying to tell it to a job that it's not designed to do, and then wonder why it's quote unquote failing. Like,
Or to fight it. And it's like, good luck fighting your brain. Like you're fighting yourself.
yes, so why can't we
It
create
doesn't
it?
make
That's
sense.
what I'm all about, is creating healthy relationship with your mind, your emotions, your body, your
Yeah.
energy, your soul. Like,
Yep.
all coming in because they're all parts of you. And I think that that's important and gets lost because everyone's like, oh, I need a fix. Like, even if they don't call it, you can put it whatever
Mm.
label you want on it, but they're still hiding under the masquerade of fixing is healing. But so I would love to talk because this is one of my like passionate do you hear me like in my voice? Like,
Yeah.
passionate topics. Like, what do you consider healing? Like, what is healing to you?
I echo. Hey, no ma'am. Leave the cat. That's not what I consider healing. Hang on. You better move. Thank
Her fur
you.
babies.
What do I consider healing? So there's a very specific way to go about healing trauma. Echo, move. Thank you. Um, there's a difference to me because so one, a lot of coaches are not, even if they're trauma informed, they're not trauma trained,
Mhm.
and they're wildly different things. So being able to say like, hey, this work may trigger you is different than like, I can resolve that for
Yes.
you. So trauma informed, not trauma trained. So coming at it from a trauma trained lens, um, sorry, my cat was just hacking. There's a difference to me between healing trauma that's like running people's lives. So for example, if someone grew up with like a narcissist mom, which is a lot of people, a narcissist mom or an abusive dad, because you won't just throw mom under the bus. There are certain ways people learn to survive that type of environment that if they don't pull them up, if they don't resolve them, if they don't heal them, it causes problems in every facet of their life. They don't know how to have relationships. They don't know how to be seen. They don't know how to be honest. They're terrified of those things. So that is healing. And then what I have found is people get to a certain point where like there's not a lot more healing work to do. Like the things that are like the big, maybe capital T trauma, different than like I grew up in American culture and the only way to be attractive as a woman is to be incredibly thin and blonde and huge boobs, right? Like that's its own kind of traumatic, but it's not the same as like my mom was a narcissist, my dad was an
Big
abuser,
event. Yeah.
right? So we'll differentiate those. But really at a certain point, the healing work is done, as in like resolving trauma is done. Now, then it kind of switches into really living in alignment with like their joy, their desire, their purpose, what lights them up. Just kind of undoing like a coat, maybe not so much a comforter, but like now it's a coat. Oh, I realize that when I'm in a group, I tend to shy away from speaking because I don't want to take up space. That to me is very different than like my dad abused me because it is different.
Yep.
But then that's like another level where it's like, oh, I can be more myself. I can be more free. So for me, there's a difference between like healing trauma and then like chasing freedom or developing or cultivating freedom, where that is much more nuanced. Um, Not that trauma is not nuanced, but yeah, so that's there really are two different levels. So at a
Yeah,
certain
I
point,
love
healing
that.
gets done, and then you're just maybe like expanding is the right word.
Yeah, and I love that because I hear so many people use it and almost like, I hate the way, like, I don't know how to pronounce it any other way of saying like that victim mentality. Like,
Yeah,
you're not broken. Like,
no.
that's not it. Like, when it comes
But
to
it does make you
healing,
feel broken.
yeah,
Like I get
yes,
the
yes,
feeling, but I'm
yes.
like, no,
But you're not
that's
truly
not.
broken. And that's
Yeah.
where I look at wholeness is actually coming back to, or I mean, healing is actually coming back to wholeness. And that's
Mhm.
my big thing, is reclaiming those
Yeah.
parts. reclaiming
Yep.
your power over those big T or little t, like, because
Yeah.
depending on the person, somebody may think this is the most traumatic thing in the world because they haven't experienced
Well,
anything,
and to them it
but it
is.
is big to them,
Right.
and it
Right.
sends shockwaves through their whole system and rewires. Like, so you have to rewire it, and I think that that's the most important part. And that when I was thinking about this podcast with you,
Mm,
I literally, what came to me was, I really want to talk to Amanda about life was meant to enjoy, not survive. So
literally.
recalibrating our own system to happiness is like the title that popped in my head, and naturally we just
Literally.
went right there. Like, and I didn't,
Yeah.
anyone listening, I didn't tell Amanda that. That was just literally the
And
intention that came through.
yeah. And that's the work, right? Like there, again, there is a difference between like taking someone out of the swamp,
Hmm.
which is what like a trained trauma professional should be doing.
Hmm.
That does take incredibly specific training because if not, they're fucking people up.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely re-traumatizing all over again.
right. Just, well, no, thank you. They're like holding them underwater, like, well, let's get out of the swamp. I'll drown you. It's a thing. And where like people like you come in is like, okay, and absolutely, like, am I saying that you can't resolve trauma? No, absolutely, you have the skill set to like, I'm sure things come up when you're in sessions and you're like, we're releasing that, and like Reiki practitioners do it, right? Where like they can really release stored trauma because they're working through the body. Like I've seen people experience huge releases and transformations in doing like past life regressions.
Yep.
I have a friend who does soul retrieval.
That's
What?
a lot of my work. A lot of those things that you say is
What?
what I do. And
Right.
I
And
most
those
people don't
are
even know the dimensions that I have in that.
life changing.
Hmm.
And so those things are like release it, right? And you're like getting people unstuck and you're recalibrating them in real time. And to me, there's still a bit of a difference because that's like a one thing they release and then it's like their whole system has to recalibrate. It's a bit different, but
And
like
to integrate
absolutely
a new level, like you
right.
don't just leave it like that. Like, that's my big
Right.
thing, is integration is so huge. And in that, there's
Well,
different
without it, it's
layers.
just dysregulating. And
Yeah.
that doesn't do people,
And it's
it
not
actually
about, like,
harms.
the story is important and it's allowing somebody to fully be expressed in those moments, but it's not re-traumatizing, reliving like in those spaces. Like, that's not
Nailed.
that's like a false idea of how you work
Which
through
is crazy.
trauma.
Well, but that's how a lot of therapists work.
Yeah.
A lot of therapists, I call it, they'll have their clients swimming in trauma soup.
Hmm.
So they'll just, because therapists, listen, here's my pet peeve with therapy. Therapists are not trained unless they do something like hypnosis, EMDR. Um, Let me rephrase that. In grad school, therapists are not ever, ever, it is not in the curriculum. They are not trained to resolve trauma. They're not trained to teach skills. They're trained to get people to talk about their feelings. That is it. That is it. I
Which,
trained therapists coming from grad school. That is all they know how to do. So then every single one of them gets to a point where they're like, okay, and how
well,
does
what
that
do
make
you
you
do with the
feel, right?
feelings?
Like, and then they're like, okay, go home. See you next week. And then these people swim in trauma soup,
Well,
and
yeah,
you're like,
beautiful.
I
You
don't know why I
unpacked
don't
all
feel
these
better.
stories and feelings, and
Right.
now
I
you
went
don't
and I
have any
talked,
skill sets to navigate them.
resolve it. Right. So it, a lot of therapists hate on the coaching industry. I'm not that. I hate shitty coaches, but they're shitty therapists too. Whatever. I am so glad to have found coaching and spiritual practices because, well, let me tell you, my clients absolutely fucking benefit. But two, I really literally feel bad for people that are either closed off to that type of work that you do, um, or have no idea. And most people have no idea. I didn't know what soul retrieval was until I heard River talking about it, and I'm like, wait, what?
Mhm.
And she's
Well,
like, yeah,
yeah,
make sure
it's
you're
a
talking to your soul.
whole different process, and people don't even understand.
Yeah.
Like, it's not some scary thing. Like, everyone thinks,
I
oh,
know.
unknown. Like, oh my gosh, that is so weird. Like, if you think about it, okay, so soul retrieval, like, we are a light being in a physical experience,
Right.
right? Like, it's actually the body is in the light. But that's
We'll
digressing.
simplify it.
Whole nother topic. But if you think about it, so it's like fractals of light. We're like fragmented, and it's
Okay.
not like a bad thing. But what we do is, like, we called this little part of me not acceptable as a child, or somebody told me that, so
Mhm.
I pretty much boxed it and put it over here. how I
Ah,
see it is a soul retrieval, and that's what reclaiming is when I say that, because a lot of people understand reclaim. Oh, I take that. But what
I
I
get
do is I help you journey through and find those little boxes, open them up, and not go, oh my gosh, now what do I do with it? Like I teach you, okay, we
Yeah.
open it up and we actually are going to dust it off and find the beautiful essence
Mhm.
of you back in it and bring that back home. Because my big philosophy in life is all of you belongs with you, all of
Oh, I
it.
love that.
Like and so that's the coming home to me is reclaiming all those soul retrieval
Mhm.
parts and bringing all of you back online so we're
Love
not
it.
fighting with ourselves,
Right.
because that's
Which is
how we create
integrating.
harmony and happiness and alignment is everybody has a place. And it's finding, like, as a true leader, if you think about it, as a true leader, like you wouldn't put somebody that has no skill set, no whatever in this role. And a lot of the times that's what I was talking about with ego. We tell it that this is its job is to keep us alive. Like that's the point. And like how I look at the ego is it's literally like our earth travel guide of like, okay, I'm supposed to prove everything she says is true and like this is how we're running our life. And you're like, "Oh, but why are you doing that?" Like that's because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to keep you alive. So if it's going to go, "Oh my gosh, we could die." And we're going, "Why are you saying
Or
that?"
that
That's
hurt.
function.
Yep.
So give
The
it a
brain,
hold that helps.
I do you find that when you go through life just talking to people, so I do it so naturally now that I'm like, I can tell you why you do that.
Oh
And I
yeah.
can tell you why. And it's so interesting talking to people who do this work because there's a shared language, right? Like obviously, if like I worked on an oil rig and you worked on an oil rig, we would have a shared language. Um, but people move through the world so differently when they do this kind of work versus people who do. And it's like for me, it's immediately apparent, even if people like go to church, because it's not uh the same, right? Especially depending on the church they go to. So like people can be spiritual or religious but not understand like really the soul
Yeah.
and how to integrate and a lot of really what a lot of people are taught is fragmentation.
Yeah.
Push that part away, shove that part, which like I get the protective mechanism of it. It's just not useful.
Hmm.
Well,
And that's the
it's
thing,
not
like, yes,
useful to
so
live your life that way.
right now, if you're in, like we were talking about, in a traumatic situation, yes, capsulating that part of you and having to dissociate while you're getting
Sure.
abused or something like
Useful.
that,
No
that
problem.
is, yes, you need to survive. But the whole point is you don't want to operate in life surviving. Like this
Mhm.
beautiful opportunity we have called the human
Yeah.
experience is to feel and integrate. So it's okay.
Right.
Okay, yes, it's not about holding shame that I put this part of me in a box right now. It's not about that. It's about,
Mhm.
okay, I actually left this a gift. This is a gift. Or I gave Amanda, like me and Amanda are enemies in life or whatever. Like, and I gave Amanda a part of my
Let's fight.
power for this lifetime for a little bit for me to learn to take it back.
Yeah.
She's actually
Right.
doing me a favor. Even in my mind may say
It's so
she's
different to look at life that
the
way.
villain, but that's like
Mhm.
at the end of the day, when you think about it, okay, look at a story. A villain has a backstory
It's
too.
so
There's like,
different to look at life that way. It is, that's not the norm, and I wish it was.
and that's what I also say, like for when I do my work or devotion with my clients, I
Hmm.
always say like, okay, so you feel like you're stuck in the mud, right?
Hmm.
I'm not gonna just grab you and pull you out of the mud. That's doing you no service. I
Right.
will get down in the mud with you.
Right. You got
I
to
will
do the
say, hey,
work.
try your hand here. Let's try this. Like I will
Yeah.
listen to you. I will hit there and hold space while you cry and whatever. And I say, okay, you got that out? Because now we can start taking
Now there's work
action.
to do.
Like
Yeah.
because both there needs to be space for both. Like you need to be able to
Right.
feel
Oh,
and
for sure.
express even in
Right.
those moments of the victim energy. That's an archetype for people
Well,
listening.
but
It's
that's,
not just that.
but
It's
crying doesn't make
important.
you a
It's
victim,
who we
right? Like
are.
feeling, right. Feeling hopeless and helpless is sometimes it's part of it.
Well, and that's actually everybody has four main survival archetypes. No matter what, you have your victim mindset, which the whole point is to evolve and work with it. So you understand what the victim mindset is and what it's the keeper of. And the
Mm.
keeper of taking your power and choosing and how to navigate with your power. Right? Like it's not always about giving it away, but we do that so then we can learn how to take back our power and actually navigate and manage our own energy. That's the point of that role. So we can feel the full spectrum. because it's not black or white, right? It's not like
Mhm.
just this or this. There's so much grayscale, and that's the whole point. And then you have like the saboteur, where you're always sabotaging. And I always say there's multiple levels. There's soul sabotage versus self sabotage, because there's certain things that
Interesting.
are in get put in the way because the universe is already working on other things. So there's a universe block or divine block,
Mhm.
right? Of re-navigating roadblock. Don't go this way, go
This
this.
is for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when we look at that going, okay, when we hit these obstacles, I always tell my clients, and what I do myself, I practice what I preach all the time, is going, okay, so I hit this roadblock. Is this a breather stop? Is this a breathing like check spot for me to go, is there something in me that needs some love and acknowledgement to see why I put that up and that's why it's
Mhm.
there? Or is this a rerouting situation because I
Yeah.
think that this is what is the
Where it's
best
like,
for me, but
yeah.
the universe goes, oh, Jackie, there's
You're
so
like,
much bigger,
oh,
beautiful
honey.
things happening. Just go this way for a minute
Oh,
and let it
honey, we'll
unravel.
do it.
And like that's the difference. And so but that saboteur is not bad. There's a reason it's there.
Right.
Same thing as like the next one is the prostitute. And I remember like my husband is in sales, and when I started like my business, he's like, Jackie, you have to learn how to sell yourself. And I remember looking at him and goes, I don't want to sell myself. I am not a prostitute. I just want to be me and I want to do what I love. And like, but that's the whole point,
That's
because
funny.
I've been doing that my whole life, not even realizing it. We sell ourselves out to fit in and people please and
Yeah.
all of these things. And the perfection, like I realized I'm going to stop abandoning myself and stop
Mm.
selling myself out. That is part of my journey. And
Mhm.
that's how you find the medicine, but you have to walk through the shadow first. And
Agreed.
so like we have all these different aspects, and that's what I see is those little things that come up, those little voices, those little programs, those little imprints.
Mhm.
They're they're part of us. For one,
And they're
they're
just,
actually part of us, or they're
yeah.
an imprint
Or
that
they were implanted.
yep, but it's serving
Mhm.
a purpose for us to go, I can let that go. That's not me.
Get
This is
out.
my truth.
You
And
can't live
but
in my
we've
house
claimed it.
anymore.
Like so many people point fingers then, like, oh, that's my dad or that's my mom. They did this to me. No, you took
And
it,
they're not
claimed it.
always necessarily wrong.
Yeah. And
Like
it's like
children
it's like
aren't walking around going, I'm, they're not wrong, right? So like if that behavior was learned because of XYZ, then they're not wrong. Like their parents did do that, or they were bullied in school for whatever, and so they did do that. But it's like, and also we can just fix it.
yeah. And
Like,
we can
it's
choose
very
differently.
fixable.
That's what cycle breaking is all about, is like,
Very
okay, I
fixable.
have the awareness, I see it. And not
Right.
it's not about right or wrong. It's about connection at the end of the day. It's not about separation of I have to put these in a category. I can be right and you can be right. We are in two different realities.
Mhm.
And that's okay. I can
And
still
that's
have a
fine.
mutual love and respect. And sometimes that means there's a boundary, there's a physical space. We can agree to disagree, and I can love you from a distance because we're not healthy and compatible, like in a
Mhm.
closer range at this moment of time where we're
Yeah.
at in this involvement. Doesn't mean that there isn't room to wiggle, but it's not also something I had to learn in my life is I fell in love with everyone's potential.
Mm.
Poor little Jackie.
Are
She
you
had
a
to
Pisces
realize
moon
it's
too?
not my job to make people reach their potential and if they don't
Yeah.
want to. And not
Yeah. I learned
everybody
that lesson
chooses
too.
that. And that's
I'm
okay.
still learning it.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is like it is also part of a reason why you do the work that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that wasn't innate and like boy howdy, me too, then it like I wouldn't be able to then call people into there because some people don't have that particular double-edged sword.
Yep.
But it also like I had to learn it in a romantic sense,
Yeah.
but it makes me very good at what I do because I'm like,
Absolutely.
oh,
Well, we can
I
mirror
know
that. We
everything.
can mirror their potential so they see it. Because once you see it,
Mhm.
but then I have to remember my job. Once again, this is also a life lesson of me. I'm not here to save anyone. As much as I
No.
was told that in my life, like in subtle ways of like it was my responsibility for everyone's happiness. It's my whatever. I have to save the world. No,
Yeah,
no.
no.
My job is to save me and share my wisdom
Mm-hmm.
and have it land on the people that it's meant to be to activate. I'm not healing anybody. What I'm doing is catalyzing someone else's healing. That's how I look at it. I share my perspective
I
and
I
it
would disagree
activates.
with that. I think you are like if you have that skill set, like That's like saying, I'm not cooking you a meal. You're like, no,
Well,
you're doing it.
what I mean
If
by
you're
that is I
activating it, you're doing
facilitate a
it.
healing process, but
That's the same
you're
thing.
the one actually choosing to participate and do it. Like that's what I don't want to
Yeah,
take the power from someone else.
sure.
It's a I hold a container, I guide, I
I
process.
think it's both.
You
For me,
have to
it's
show up
both
too.
and. Like I see, like it's my job to create the transformation.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they have to like want to see it, agree with it, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But like literally is my job
Yeah.
to do what I tell you I'm going to do. And
Yeah.
that's not for me, that's not disempowering to them. Like
No, I create
it's
a LP
available in
process.
them.
But that's what
Right.
I'm saying is like, but I can't if you
But
don't
I'm not
show
like
up.
saving
Yeah,
them
I'm not
because
saving
people
you
don't need
and you
saving.
don't it's
No.
because one of also the patterns that I am breaking for myself and what I'm passionate about and what my brand is about too is the codependency. And I see it so much in the healing realm and
Yeah.
my background's nursing. So I see so many the
Mm.
modern and the
I forgot about that.
so
Well, a lot of wounded
why that's
people get
important to me
into
is yes,
this
I
work.
may be skilled, but at the
Yeah.
same point, it's I'm teaching you tools and things like that, but I don't want you to say, "Oh my gosh, I can't heal because I need Jackie."
Right. I
No.
can't live without Jackie. Yeah, I can.
Yes, like that's the thing. I want to teach you the
Sure can.
skills. Yes,
Right.
yes, you may want me as the catalyst to help teach you and grow you and evolve to learn
Right.
how to navigate, but I
Right.
want you to remember
But
you hold the
eventually,
power.
I
Yeah.
want you to fight. I tell clients like, there will come a day when you fire me. And at first, a lot of them are like, never. And I'm like, no trust. Like,
And that's a
you
celebration day,
you
not a
will fire
sadness
me.
day.
Okay, Echo, calm down. And then by the time they get to it, they're all ready. And I'm like, trust and believe, you'll fire me. And then I have some people that just like this space. So they like the long term, which love that
And
too. I
it's
love
a
new
catalyst
people.
thing. It's you're always evolving. It's not a end destination. But at the same point,
Well,
those people
ideally,
do they need you
people
or
are
do they
always
like
evolving.
your company to help
They like the
expand
space,
you
right? That's
even more?
different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's different too. Like, I mean, listen, you saw it in nursing. A lot of people get into helping professions because of wounded egos. They want to save, they want to be needed. That like, and a lot of people get into parenting that way.
Mhm.
I'm bored. I want to be loved. Oh, my baby will always love me. My patients will always need me. And it's such a wounded ego. And like this work is just literally invaluable. Like, and it's so wild to me how many people, in whatever form it takes, right? Whether they work with a therapist or a coach or a shamanic healer or doing Reiki, like the amount of people that I notice who do nothing, no sort of personal development, no sort of like healing work, none of it. I'm just like, how y'all out here really motherfucking raw dog in life? Like, how is that working for you?
It's not because it
And
goes
it's
back to their
so
surviving in
fascinating.
autopilot. They're
No,
not
I know it's not working,
living in their
but it
full
is
potential.
fascinating to watch. And I'm just like, oh, y'all don't even know what's available to you on the other side of this work. Like, they don't even know. And it
A
makes
lot of
me
people are
so
scared.
sad for
They're like,
them.
"Oh my gosh,
Oh, it
I'm
is
going to
scary.
open," because they're scared
Yeah,
of
for good reason. It's
themselves.
fucking hard.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I would say. I'm like, I try to not to say like it's inner devotion. That's what I say. Like I guide you through inner devotion.
Yeah, but it's a
People have
bitch, bro.
people have this like work. Oh, it's so like you know what I mean? There's like this energy around it for a lot of people. So I said it's an inner devotion, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't take effort.
Right.
Like I
I
want
like
you to fall in
I
love with
think
yourself again in the process, but it doesn't mean you're not going to have hard times. Like for me, like there's going to be painful moments. Like I tell my
obviously.
clients that. Like the thing is though is are you letting the pain move and mold and actually
Mhm.
use you as fuel? Or are you just starting yourself on fire for no apparent reason?
Well, and the Buddhists like to say life is pain, but it doesn't have to be suffering,
Mm-hmm.
which I enjoy. And
Absolutely.
I often say this work is not for cowards.
Mm-mm.
And really, like, I see a lot of one through line to this work for me is coming into like very rooted integrity with yourself, right? Because like people who are in survival mode will do anything for whatever safety is right in front of them, right? So they'll people please, they'll lie to everyone because they want the person in front of them or the situation in front of them to be happy with them, but it inherently makes them a liar and really out of integrity. I really love when my clients get real mad where I'm like, you could do that. You could do that, but like, is that in your integrity? And they're like, it's not easy to hold yourself to that high. And I see this as someone who like doesn't always do it, right? Like I'm in the
But it's
work
not
too.
about perfection. It's just
Right.
that's
But
part of the
holding
work.
yourself in that integrity is not easy. And then there's so many in this space who are like, I don't want to say teaching this work, but teaching and doing this work that like they're not in integrity. So naturally, like the people they're helping are not being helped. Hey, that's not
I,
for you.
I see it a lot is people learn a concept, keyword learn. They don't embody it. And then they think they're the expert. And then, but that's also
Yeah.
the system tells you, okay, now position you as the expert.
Right.
If you're
You
not
only need to
actually
be one step
walking,
ahead.
yeah, if you're not walking your talk and actually like practicing what you're preaching in that what
Yeah.
you're teaching, you have to be a living, breathing example of your movement. And I think that that's you can tell the
Could be.
difference. Like you can learn a textbook concept, but I think that's why I'm as potent of a facilitator as
Mhm.
I am, is because
Well,
I
it's
have
so
had,
different when you're embodied.
yeah, I
Like
embody
it's
it
so
and I've
different.
gone through some hardships in life and the
Yeah.
experiences, and I wouldn't change any of it. People are like,
Yeah.
wouldn't you? No, because it made me who I am. I'm not saying it was enjoyable, but it made me who I am to be able to,
Again, life is pain. It doesn't have to be
yeah,
suffering.
learn and stretch those muscles though that I wouldn't have able to understand and resonate as deep
Mhm.
with people that I'm going through if I didn't have those life experiences to actually
Mhm.
learn and embody. It'd be a different process. For
Right.
for me to say, I see you, I feel you, I was you is
Yeah.
like,
It's so different.
yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Echo's demanding to be pet. That's who
I
I
love
keep
that.
looking at.
This
If
also
I
like
don't,
brings
I
up
can't handle it.
like another thing
Oh,
that I'd love to know your perspective on. Like, because I know
mm,
we both do shadow work, or I like to call it shadow love. Like,
cute.
let's talk about the importance of that. What is it in the importance of actually going into that shadow devotion
Oh,
and what it
jeez.
opens up for you if you so choose it?
Well, the other option is that people's fears and traumas run their whole life. So
Mhm.
that's that's the other option. Don't recommend that one. Um, so what is it? It's for me facing and bringing to the light anything that attempts to keep us from our integrity or being rooted in love or our purpose or our dreams or our vision or kindness or patience, blah, blah, blah. But the important, God, the option is that people are normal, which is to say, stuck in suffering. Um,
The loop.
so people don't have to do shadow work. They don't have to do any of this shit. But I
If
recommend
you will.
it. I certainly recommend it. Um, and it's interesting, and you see this with the people you work with. Like I tell my clients all the time, like this work makes you different. It makes you different from 99% of the population. And that in and of itself can be hard because it just makes you different.
Yeah.
Um, but life is a lot easier and it's a lot smoother. Like
In the most beautiful way too.
yeah, like there's a lot of things that like I just can't freak out about anymore because my brain's like, that's dumb. Like we were doing an exercise, like a breathwork thing at the retreat with Taylor over the weekend. So fun. Um, and she was like, okay, now get angry. And all I pictured was like laughing. I was like, I can't like first of all, my undercurrent is very often rage. Like I work a lot from rage. Um, which isn't to say I'm an asshole, but which is
No,
to say like it
rage can fuel
enrages
you. That's
me.
actually a healthy way of working with rage. A lot of
Yeah,
people
well,
don't.
it's just an undercurrent. Like the Hulk is like, that's the secret. I'm always angry. That's my secret. I'm always angry. Um, like I get very enraged at how people are treated and how they're left and how they just suffer when they don't have to. And I'm like, so anyway, very fueling for me. But like when we got to anger, like I couldn't think of something I was angry about. Well, that's not true. I can think of a lot of things I'm angry about. But I was like, I just had laughter and I was like, there's so many things that used to make me somebody would cut me off. I'd be mad about it for 3 days. Or fucking whatever the president is doing right now, which is always shitty. It would make me so mad I couldn't function. And it's like, I have work to do. I have fucking work to do. Like, I don't have time to sit around and be pissed off all the time. or like you, somebody's rude in a conversation and my feelings are hurt and I'm not lost in that for 2 weeks. Like I'm not replaying conversation 6 months later. Like what the fuck ever. I'm not taking responsibility for how people react to me or the world or what they're doing. Like I don't fucking care, which a bit makes me sound heartless. I care about the people in my life, obviously, for people that are like, well, but like
But
I
you're
don't,
not giving your power away for the situation. What I hear you say,
right?
Amanda,
Like I don't care.
is like
I have
she's
shit to do.
asking to call up that anger. But for you, anger doesn't trigger
So
you in
it's
the same
just
way. Anger
laughing.
is like your
Yeah,
best friend. She's always
whatever.
around in the most
Um,
beautiful way because you've alchemized that relationship already. So
yeah.
it's not
And I'm like,
not to
oh,
get rid of or release. You're like,
what
yep,
am I gonna do? Be mad?
yeah.
My whole life. There's endless opportunities where I wanted to find them for what? So, shadow, and it allows us to say like to really get to the root of things, right? To say, hey, I've been avoiding this conversation with my partner because I'm afraid they'll be upset, which is where most people stop. Instead of saying, well, okay, what happens if they're upset? Oh, well, they'll be mad at me. Okay, well, what happens if they're mad at me? We won't talk. Okay, what happens then? Oh, I'm afraid they'll leave me. What happens then? Oh, I'm afraid that my fear that I'm unlovable will be true. And it's like shadow work allows people to get to that and then to alchemize it. But without doing that, people stop at level one and they say, well, I just don't want them to be upset.
And that's what I say is surface level. Not that it's not,
Mhm.
even that surface level is
Useful,
challenging
but
too,
it's
and
not
it's
the whole
helpful.
thing. Right.
But
But it's like saying, oh, I have my roof is leaking, but you never take the time to look into the roof and the whole thing is rotted out. Like you
yeah,
actually need to replace the whole roof, but if we never dig in, we never pull back the ceiling, you can't find it. If you're like, oh,
or
this little
like
spot has mold, turns out it's in all of your walls, you have to now remediate mold.
And there's this infection growing under. It's kind
Mhm.
of like how I say because the growing metaphor is like you're not actually de-weeding your garden. You're allowing these weeds to go, and you're literally just chopping them off, like snipping them, and you're going, okay, yep,
Right.
I did my work.
Fun.
Check the box. Once again, let's not live
Yeah.
check box lives. When you can actually, how I look
Right.
at it is your shadow love, your shadow devotion is literally taking that and following that weed down, finding the root balls in the different angles. It's not about just popping whatever because you're still could have half of it. And it's not in a
Mm.
I have to do this work. Like it's so like it's no, it's going with curiosity and love and doesn't mean that it's not going to be painful. Like we said, doesn't mean it's not going to be
It's gonna be
uncomfortable at
painful.
times. And
Right.
in truths are going to come out, but you're held in so much love and safety. Like
Mhm.
that's what I get mirrored back all the time is like
Yeah.
Jackie, I share so much with you that I've never actually spoke out loud. And I don't know what it is about you, but I feel safe and held that I'm not going to be
Yeah.
judged. I can be
Oh, I love
loved.
that.
And
It's
like
that.
you
I'm
see,
not going to be judged. It's
yeah,
that
and that's
simple.
the thing is like you truly see me and there's this unconditional love. And I said, like,
Yep.
good, because that to me is my purpose at the end of
That's
the
the
day.
point.
Like I
Well, and that's
want
what
you to
creates the
know that you are
safety.
lovable.
Like,
All of you. Once again, all
right.
of you belongs.
Right. Even the parts where you're like, I'm gonna skin this bitch alive. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, mafia. Like,
Everybody like
whatever.
it all serves a purpose and role. It's just who are you letting
Yeah.
in the
Maybe
driver's seat all the time?
maybe
Like,
you were a mafia. I like to say they get a seat at the table, they don't get the mic.
yes,
They don't get the mic, but they
or
can sit at
limited
the
time. Like I'll
table.
let you tell your story, but you're not gonna be running the ship.
Yeah.
And that's
You are not the captain, bro. Yeah. I mean, yeah, people just they don't literally don't even know. They just don't know and they're walking around suffering and they may get to the first part, which is good. That in and of itself is awareness, but I
there's so
just
much more beauty when you can actually
well, and
unravel
there's
and see yourself. Because that's the thing, you want to be seen. Like my big thing this month in September with my
mm,
mom's birthday month is being seen because that's one
yeah.
thing that she said all the time is like I feel invisible. And like you were saying, like the imprint that I got carried from the
Right.
wound is I am her unconditional love. I want a baby, so my
Yeah.
baby will love me always. And
Yeah.
there were certain points that she pushed me away and
Woo.
it was not always beautiful. But you know
Yeah.
how many times I told her, I said, Mom, but you were right. I
Mm,
love you so much that right
yeah.
now it's toxic for us to be this close, even though it hurts
Yeah.
and breaks my heart.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you your space and me my space
Mm,
and still be here and I will still love you. No
yeah.
matter like, because my mom at the end, like she said some things that you would never, never say to a child,
Yeah.
especially your child. But I also know see, this is the awareness and where I'm coming from is like, I know it was her pain and her hurt and her wounds
I
coming
was gonna
back,
say
and
people
I'm
are
the safe
not in like
haven.
the right space.
Yeah. I've
They don't
always
know
been
other
her
people's
safe
space.
haven though. Like because
Yeah.
of that, like I've always modeled unconditional love, even though
Hmm.
she doesn't realize that she taught me that as well.
Yeah.
Like
Well, awesome.
and that's the thing is a lot of my life, the way I grew up in that space, yes, I was parentified. Like I from the day I was born, like my sister was born or like they knew about her, like I was, she's your responsibility. Like to the point,
Wow.
like my sister messed up, it was my fault because my leadership, my role model, like honestly, and they thought
Dang.
my parents were playing house. Like my parents were babies
Yeah.
having babies. Like
Mm.
they got pregnant with me on purpose at 17, had me at 18. Like
Wow.
they were literally playing house because it's
Wow.
what they wanted and they wanted a family that they could do their own,
Yeah.
yet they were
Yeah.
babies having
They
babies.
were babies.
And they thought they were doing the best thing, but that's my dad. I would literally have conversations and he goes, "Yeah, I feel bad now because I didn't realize after the fact of
Right.
what that has done to you." And I said at the
Right.
same point, it has made me, it was the initiation that I got to walk through to realize to let go of some of those things because they weren't my
Yeah.
responsibility, even though I thought it was my responsibility.
Yeah. Well, and it literally was until you were like, oh, that's not healthy.
Until I said,
We're not
I
doing
laugh
that
because
anymore.
there's so many people that like come from dysfunctional family, like the quote unquote women
Oh,
from dysfunctional
name a
family.
functional family.
Yeah, and well, and I was sitting here
You
and
know
my
what? The
husband,
Adams family. Outside of the Adams family, everybody else is fucked up.
like my husband, he was abused as a child, like he was
Yeah.
physically abused, and he has like a background story in that, and I was like, okay, yeah, like I once again that's easy for people's mind to go, yeah, that was a dysfunctional place. I'm sitting
Yeah.
here like in La La Cupcake Rainbow Land, like, oh no, I had a really good childhood until you get older and you start doing
And
the
you're like,
work, and you're like, wow, yep, yep, it
oh
was
no.
dysfunction just on a different like lens, like it didn't like
Yeah. It just
not that
wasn't
I was
as
physically
like
beat by my
it's
parents,
not
but
a big T, right? It's
but
different. But
it's
we all
still,
have shit to like rewire and rip out
yeah,
all of it.
absolutely. Oh,
Just rip those out. So we're
such
happy.
a beautiful conversation. I wanna kind of start wrapping it up here.
Mhm.
What is the last like
Echo.
takeaway or thing that you want to make sure that we leave the listeners today? Whatever little nugget pops in.
I mean, what comes to mind is that like life is pain, but it doesn't have to be suffering, which is to say, the more open we are to experiencing all of it, the
Mhm.
less we suffer any of it. So,
I love
and
it.
then what happens if we're like, okay, I'm willing to feel all the pain, where most people actually sit when they're allowing everything is like contentment. That's where most people, well, I've never seen anyone not sit there when they allow everything to come. When they're like, I'll feel the pain, I'll feel the joy, I'll feel all of it. But like our natural baseline when we're fully open to every experience is contentment, which isn't to say we're always content, right? Like,
It's ebb and flow.
right.
But
But
that's for
the
you. That's the home.
baseline is actually contentment, which
That's
like
the
that's
home.
a dope place to be.
And a lot of
Like,
people, that's
all I'm
where they're
saying.
striving to be. I just want to be, I just want peace.
I
You know
just
what I
want to
mean?
be
Like you
happy.
hear that all the time. Like that is like I think it's
Yeah,
same.
and isn't it funny that the way to have that is to experience pain?
Well, and if you think about it, is this is
Funny.
what I teach and what I realized on my own is if I don't allow myself to feel pain, how
Mhm.
do I expect myself to feel pleasure because I'm numbing myself and I can't, you can't feel either end of
Well, a
it.
lot of people don't know that, but it's true. If you, it's like a, I think of it as a window, like the window's open or it's closed. I can't filter the breeze from 203 to 205.
Yep.
Like I can't filter in, no, the window's open or it's closed. So people are open to every experience or they're numb, they're closed to all of them. But I would rather 1,000 times experience, and I will because life will hand it to me, um, pain and joy so deep that I think I'll die,
Hmm.
and
I
pain
call it
so
labor
deep that
pains
I
of
think
love.
I'll die.
As a mom who gave birth, like that's what I call it. And those pains are those labor pains of love because it's birthing me into a new
Yeah.
chapter
Oh, I love
or a
that.
new a new space. Like, so yes, I know it's going to be uncomfortable for a set amount of time, but this
Yeah,
is
that's that.
temporary because I'm choosing it and I'm choosing not to live here. I'm choosing
Yeah.
not to let it define me. I'm not taking it on as my identity. I am
Mhm.
taking it on as this is a chapter of my story.
Yeah.
And I'm going to allow myself to navigate and go with the flow and stop resisting it and saying this
Mhm.
is not like in denial, right? This is not part of my story. Like,
Yeah,
no,
like,
it is.
okay.
And that's okay.
I'm crying on the floor, sobbing. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The beauty.
Eventually I won't be. Okay.
But that's what it takes to really allow yourself to be free, set yourself free.
Hmm.
And that's what that is so
It's so funny because it's what most humans spend their time avoiding.
yeah.
And it's
It
like,
sets
oh,
you free and to allow yourself to be fully expressed because once you've allowed those pieces to come home, you can allow yourself to peek between the masks and you still see you, even though the mask can come and go. And like I call them accessories at that point. Like
oh,
allowing
fun.
myself to wear makeup that it's not hiding me, it's
Yeah.
accentuating my natural beauty. I put this hoodie on and it brings out and pops certain of my features and whatever.
Yeah.
That's how you want to move through life, not let them enmesh you that that's all you are and you have to walk around with this billboard now and hide
Yeah.
and nobody can
No,
see
thanks.
you.
And it's exhausting. Like,
Yes. Yes. I almost took
no,
my life
thank
at
you.
15 because of that exhaustion of like I can't keep
Yeah.
this facade up.
No, thank you.
It's like, and I don't wish that upon anyone. So, what a
No.
beautiful conversation. I just love
Yay. Yeah. Love you, dude.
well, thank you everyone for listening. And I will
Yes.
make sure
Y'all
that I
don't.
pop in um, a bio of Amanda and where to reach her and get in contact, her Instagram, all the
Yeah.
goodies. And please come say hi to both of us and come
Come hang,
play in
come
our
party.
rooms.
Thank you for being here inside the Free and Fully Expressed movement with me today. If this conversation with Amanda stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your sisters. Tag me at GrowWithJackieB on Instagram and let me know your biggest takeaways. And if you want to go deeper into this work, head over to growwithjackieb.com and explore the ways we can walk this journey together, whether it's through the weekly soul letters, my rites of passage programs, or this podcast that reminds you of who you've always meant to be. Remember, you were never just a woman. You were always a queen. And together we're building a movement of cycle breaking women who are reclaiming their crowns and changing the world, one deep soul conversation at a time. Until next time, here's to your rise, your roar, and your return to yourself.